Welcome to Inside Outboards with your host, Kodibass. Hello everybody, welcome back to the old channel. I'm sitting out here on a halfway decent day. But anyway, I want to say a big hello and welcome to all you new subscribers. I know it's been a little bit since I put up a video, but oh my goodness. I didn't get eaten by a Kodiak bear. Have seen a few though, they're up and about, getting in the garbage and that sort of thing. You understand? But I had to sit here and have a chat with old Fret. And kind of told him, I said, man, everything's falling apart around here, Fret. And he said, yeah, including you. And kind of what I would expect him to say. Normal Fret stuff. But I've had a hard time doing really anything outboard wise because I had quite an influx of lawnmowers. I got a generator sitting there, a rototiller in there. But anyway, I got a few things I want to show you, but what's been keeping me tied up, I fell and I busted up my knee. And it's just all bruised and swollen and everything, and so I'm having a real hard time kind of getting around when it comes to lifting anything, even like, you know, a little 15-20 horse, because as you know, my little mini dozer RamRod went up in flames. So there's that. But I got a couple things I want to show you. A freebie. It's not an outboard either, but it's still pretty cool. But I want to show you a couple other things been keeping me a little bit tied up and so forth, and who knows what'll be on the video. But I say, let's get to it. First thing I wanted to show you is that right there. Is that cool or what? Somebody threw this out, and what was sitting up on top of it was a big giant industrial grinder. It's a big heavy metal base, and that vise right there, that beautiful Columbia vise, I painted it all up, and now I got to paint the base stand up. But that's really heavy, and it is exactly what I needed. And you can see she's got a coat of surface rust on it, but I'll get it. A little bit of wire wheeling, some Corosil, and a couple coats of paint. And then put my vise right there. But isn't that a neat base right there? And then, of course, I could put it on a big old slab of cement or just some big old chunks of wood. I'm actually looking, we have it around here, some iron bark that they use on planking for crab fishing boats and other big fishing type boats and such. There's some of that around here. I'd like to find a couple nice chunks of that, mount it to that. And those little trays come off, and the little water bucket there comes off. But just a real nice base for a vise. Or an anvil, which I have now too. And I got my table being redone up by my buddy Charlie right now. And it'll go right in here, you know, right in there. That's where it'll go. But I want to show you some other things. I do got her sitting on some of the rubber. I replaced that tire and rim there. And I'm working on cleaning off all the soot, and I'm going to hit it with a wire wheel and a bunch of core seal and primer, and I'll go from there. But I got to have this. Can't do without it. And there's another shot of my vise and my bass stand there. There's the freebie I got. Is that something or what? Look at the size of that honker. Is that a beast? And I checked it, it's got spark, but I'm gonna do some cleaning up. It's got a decompression button here because you ain't just pulling this puppy over by hand. A 090, and it's got a bar that came with it. It's in the shop there. It's about a 40-inch bar. And is that thing a beast or what? That is a work of chainsaw art. And he said it's been sitting in his garage for years. I mean, the thing ain't even that dirty. There's not a lot of sawdust on it or anything. So I was stoked to get that. And the same fella that brought me that beautiful steel saw brought me this little 4kW gen set by Generac, and I mean, it's clean as a whistle. I'll have to clean the carb. It pulls over really nice, and I think that's all I'll have to do to it is carb clean. But is that nice or what? Really nice. So you got to get that up and going. But everything's kind of taking a back seat right now to the RamRod. Because with my bum back, my bum knee, I got to get the RamRod. But I'll make some video, take some video footage of that as I prime it, paint it, and get it ready to get the engine back in. And we'll go from there. Here's some more freebies. Somebody set these beside a dumpster, and in the summertime around here I can never get enough coolers, people bringing me fish and meat and other stuff, so I can, you know, somebody set these beside a dumpster, so they're freebies. And I looked them up. This one's nothing special, but it was clean, so I grabbed it too. But these two, I looked that Coleman 316 series up on Amazon. It was $219. And this Igloo Overland 50 was about $80. So, and they're beautiful, you know, in, I mean, almost like new condition. They're very clean inside. And I shot a little Gain washing soap in there because I like the way it smells. But they're both very nice coolers. And oh, this one still got some soapy water, but yeah, they were like very clean, and somebody set them beside a dumpster, so I was like, yeah, I take those. So about $300 in coolers there. I like freebies. There's some contrast for you. Our nation's symbol bird drinking out of a mud puddle at a shipyard. So, and there's somebody's dream boat that turned into a nightmare. Oh, that's got to be some good water there, guy. A local metal worker, artist, Mark Witteveen, just finished this sculpture. He does metal art all over the country, really. Probably the world. But this is for a local native tribe here on the island. And that would be a kayak with some waves and an orca. And I don't know if the you know, the frame and all, it's rusting, as is the boat, the kayak, and maybe that'll turn black or something. I'm not sure if, you know, if it'll get painted. I'm not sure. And you know, I really don't even know if it's completely finished. But I thought I'd show you. It's pretty cool. And here's another view, different view of Kodiak. Most of it. The downtown, anyway. Got a storm moving in, they say, tonight. Well, I trimmed back the currant berries pretty good. I don't think I'll go any further back. And then I'm actually trying to grow some stuff out here. Right there, next to that pipe you see sticking up, I put a bunch of potato, seed potato things, and they're growing. The last couple storms kind of made them look a little wilty, but I'm just going to keep mounding those up and see what I get out of them. Then over here, in that little tray, I started some collard greens, and I'll transplant those into one of these black totes. What black totes? Those black totes. In there, I got some, I think that's called Swiss char? Yeah, something like that. I got a little sticker thing around. Yeah, I do. What is this, though? And it's growing, yeah, Swiss chard. And it's a green too, I guess, just, you know. And then I even got some like collards that I put in here from right out of that little tray, and they're doing fine. What is this? This is Chinese cabbage. And it's doubled in size since I put it in there. And this is curly kale and a celery plant. So, hey, at least I'm trying. And, of course, the deer could come right in here and whack it. That's what they do to my apple tree. I planted that apple tree right there probably, it's been over 10 years. I have gotten a grand total of 5 apples. off of it, and they're little bitty things. And what this apple tree is, what's left of it, is it's a grafted thing. So I guess it produces 2 or 3 different kinds of apples. That's what they told me when they sold it to me. And then my Josta berries, they're looking really good. And the Josta berries are the ones up against the back wall, I mean right up against the side of the house. Those are Josta berries. And this plant sticking out in front of them is a white rose bush. And I have tried to kill that white rose bush in every way possible without trying to kill it. In other words, I've had to move it a couple times because it's thorny and all that. You can't kill that thing. It will have beautiful roses on it. And then the old rhubarb for the wine, these are looking pretty healthy. And plum tree number 2, decrepit. And this plum tree right here, the one that I have gotten plums off of, decrepit. Look at that. That's the kind of spring we've had so far. It's June, and it's barely even got any leaves on it. But these old currant berries, right on time, they're going nuts. Even after I whacked them, they're going nuts. They love it here. They love this spot. When I look at that mess right there, for all you guys down in Florida, and I know there's a few of you down there that watch, that reminds me of those old mangrove places where, when I used to live down there, we would go fishing for snook and stuff. That's what that looks like. But yeah, I got a garden. I got some taters and a few other things. And then I got another bush over here that does really well. This is a gooseberry. And it's the Josta berry and the gooseberry. If there's a difference in taste, I can't taste it. And I'm glad it likes it here because I really like those berries. They're almost like a grape. Like you guys down in the South, you get those muscadines, scuppalongs, or whatever they call them. And then see, I got my whale planter boxes. That's celery growing out of that one, out of his spout. Celery sprouts with the spout, whale spout. And then that's, I don't think they're gonna make it, but that's green peppers. But you know what kind of whales those are? Who can guess? That's right, they're blue whales. I gotta fix my flag, that storm really, I'll get up there and straighten that out. And then I'm scraping on my caribou antlers up there. Gonna get a good coat of paint on them. I paint them green to match the roof. And they need it. And then I did get my moose antlers all painted up pretty and everything. They look good, don't they? Yep. Just a little yard to them. Hopefully in this, you notice the grass was mowed. Yippee! I'm having myself a spot of tea, I am. And it's good and refreshing. Well, this was just a little video to show you kind of what I've been up against here, and with my little mini bulldozer, and I'm gonna go down tomorrow, and everything's closed right now. Today is Sunday, so and the storm passed through mostly last night. It started clearing up about an hour ago, and the sun popped out. But just wanted to show you kind of what I've been up against here and some of the cool stuff I've found. But I'm going to go down Monday to the hydraulic man there, and I'm going to take some pictures, video of everything, of how the hoses on this. I'm not a hydraulic guy. I know the very basics. And this machine is 50 years old at least. So I'm going to go down, take some pictures, And because the engine, when it sits in there, it sits right on top of the drive motors, which once you put the motor in, you can't get to those hoses, which burn up, all except for about the last that much of them. So I'll take pictures and stuff, and I'm going to take and load them on the laptop, take the laptop down there, let the guy look at it and go, can you build me these hoses? And I'm thinking along the line of hose extensions. So I can just have them run out, and then set the engine in there, and then when I get the new controls and everything, he can just make me the hoses to go from the extensions I put on the drive motors up to the controls. That's any of you hydraulic folks weigh in. Like I said, I'm not, I know the very basics. I've replaced a hose or two on that thing over the years. Luckily, it was none of the ones that were under the engine, but this time it is. And I'm replacing everything. Another thing I'm going to try is, this is a Canadian-built machine. I don't know the exact year, but I can find out the exact year. And it just came to me last night. I was like, somewhere in there, I actually have a manual for this and a CD that a friend made me. And so I'm going to look in there. This company, RamRod, from what I understand, is still in business. So there's that. Hopefully I can, you know, it would be so cool if I could call this company, tell them the model of this thing and everything, and go, can you send me every hose that's on this machine and the proper fittings, couplings, and fat chance, right? Anyway, I have to address a couple other things. I've had a couple subscribers, well, more than a couple. I get quite a few, including some long-term subscribers that have asked me, do I have starter brackets for like the 25s, 30s, and even other ones, the big twins and stuff. And the down and dirty to that is no. Literally, given our situation being an island and an aging population to boot, I get people that come in here just checking back with you, see if you got me a starter bracket yet. I mean, weekly I get locals coming in here. Did you get one yet? Did you get one yet? As fast as I can get them in, I sell them locally here, or trade them. It's Evinrude, of course, OMC, defunct. So those parts are getting harder to come by, a lot harder. And if you find them on eBay, the people are wanting ridiculous amounts. And that's going to continue, because there's people that got, we all know, the good old Johnson or Evinrude, 50 years, things just getting broke in sometimes, especially up around that Great Lakes, you know, that Great Lakes region where they sold millions of these engines, and every time they start them, they're flushing them. So it's not uncommon to be up in that area and see, you know, a 60-year-old engine that's in daily use, recreationally or otherwise. So those starter brackets and things like that are just getting harder and harder. But I'm sorry, I just don't, the ones that I do get, I normally put on one of my 30s, 35s, 20s, whatever, because it helps me to sell them. So they're, and right now I don't have any. Well, I got a 15 horsepower starter bracket, which that's staying with me. I'm keeping it. I've got one. So anyway, there's that. And then I had another sub contact me and emailed me and asked if I had a Mercury tiller handle, and I really thought I did. I thought I had one. I took off like a 30, and I'm not giving up. It's just I can't find it. So if it's in my Conics, where I normally keep my my tillers. I haven't been able to find it. I looked. I got a couple big Rubbermaid totes in there that I keep them laid in, and I went through both totes and it wasn't in there. And you know, I'm no spring chicken, huh? You understand? With the memory, you know, So I could have gave it away, sold it, whatever, but I haven't. I still got the carcass for the engine over there. So I'm like, I know I had one. I've never used it. So unless I sold it, traded it, or gave it away, I haven't been able to find it. So I'm sorry about that. But I can't remember your YouTube name or whatnot. So forgive me for that. But yeah, if I find it, I'll sure get back on one of my videos and let you know, hey, I found this thing. I have virtually no need for it. I've got my Mercury on my boat. And I got it the way I like it. So anyway, there's that. And then, any of you folks out there, I don't know if the camera caught that, but a bird just went zoom. Any of you folks out there, excuse me, pardon me, that's a little, you know. That's good. I was squatting down the other day and I kind of fell over backwards. And that made my knees just bunch together. And it hurt. I mean, this right knee, it hurt. Boy, I mean, y'all might have heard me down there in the low 48s. I yelled that loud. That sucker hurt. And ever since then, it's been over a week now. This thing, you know, I'm Hopalong Cassidy here. And it hurts. But I don't, you know, I could take the ibuprofen, the Tylenol, acetaminophen, whatever. But I don't like eating that crap, you know. So if any of you guys know something like holistic, topical, that you can rub on there, that, you know, help it out or whatever. I mean, I'm sure it'll heal. It is a little swollen and so forth. So if anybody has, you know, some kind of remedy, homemade, topical, something that you don't have to swallow, please do share. I could use it. And so there's that. That's been slowing me down a little too. But I can always, on the RamRod, sit on my little stool and I'll be getting on that tomorrow after I go see the hydraulic man. And while I'm wire wheeling that, I'll wire wheel this beautiful heavy duty metal base for my vise. So I'll get that all wire wheeled. We'll film some of that, and I'm probably forgetting something. And the minute we stop the camera, old Fred here, he'll let me know what I've forgotten and laugh at me and make fun of me, call me a doofus and stuff like that. He does that pretty regular. So anyway, that's some of the stuff that I've been doing around here, and I found a lot of good freebies and had a lot of good freebies come in, so I thought, you know, I can at least make a video showing that while I'm in between the RamRod and everything. But we'll get caught up. We'll get back on the outboards and whatever happens to come in this way, because with this little shop here, you never, ever know what's going to show up in here. So, maybe somewhere in there was a hack. If not, I'll always think there should have been. Shut up. All right. I want to thank each and every one of you and all you new subs for joining us. Oh, that knee hurts. Thanks for watching. More vids are coming on Inside Outboards with your host, Kodibass.